Certainly not the news I wanted to bring you today, and definitely not the news you're going to want to hear. On August 21st, as I film this, I received this message. It's short but heavy from Katie Pasitny with Universal Ostrich Farms, informing me so that I could inform you that the Federal Court of Appeals has just unanimously ruled, after just over 4 weeks of deliberation, against the farmers' fight to save their healthy flock of 400 ostriches against the Canadian Food Inspection Agency's cull order to kill them. These ostriches have been healthy for 219 days, asymptomatic, but the order will live on. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that decision. And also, I'm going to let you know that just like the last time when there was no emergency stay order in place, as is what's happening now to keep these birds safe, I'm actually going to be making my way back to Edgewood, BC. I'm going to talk with the farmers. They're calling for supporters to come because they believe that any day something could happen. And I'm going to be there to show you what happens. If you want to support our efforts and journalism that gets our boots on the ground to show you government overreach in action, please go to savetheostriches.com and donate what you can.
220 days, healthy ostriches thriving with natural herd immunity. And here we are with blessings and heartbreak. So blessings are all of you who continue to support us. And the heartbreak is that we are being restricted from testing and proving the health of these animals. It's undeniable. We have undeniable proof that nature works, that these animals are not just surviving, that they've recovered with resilience, developed strong antibodies, and that could help both animal and human health. They are living, breathing evidence that there is something greater than fear and greater than policy.
At savetheostriches.com and also in the description box, I have this report, the written version of it, and it links the full decision that was just handed out on August 21st by the Federal Court of Appeal. Just a little bit of background. The reason why the farm was trying to get an appeal was because earlier this year, Justice Zinn basically ruled that the policy that the Canadian Food Inspection Agency was following, the stamping out policy that says if a flu comes there, they're going to wipe them all out if the H5N1 gets there, and ruled that it wasn't unreasonable. The farmers did get the right to challenge that appeal, and that was what was just dismissed unanimously. Now, the rulings are there. They went to every point that their counsel, Omar Sheikh, had argued on their behalf. And essentially, in short, they ruled that the stamping out policy and the CFIA acting out on it, or decision to put it into place, I should say, was not unlawful, was not unreasonable. And the farm wanted to put in some new evidence, namely the fact that these birds have been healthy and asymptomatic. If you recall, there was a sickness that went through this farm last year in December, and the Canadian Food Inspection Agency showed up with an anonymous tip, swapped 2 dead carcasses with a PCR test. We've done many reports on why that's a controversial test to begin with, but the point is they say that those 2 dead carcasses were in fact infected or had H5N1, the avian flu. But the crazy thing is, since January, the surviving flock of almost 400 ostriches, predominantly the older ostriches that likely have immunity already to many illnesses, they have been healthy, asymptomatic, and strong. Just look at this one here. Look at this rooster having a little dance.
So pretty. Who's a pretty boy? Oh, so pretty. Who's a pretty bird? Pretty birds. Oh, pretty birds. Pretty birds. Happy birds. Oh, so happy. 217 days. It's worth a dance. Oh, so pretty.
But none of that matters. The argument that they are healthy now, we should take this into consideration, which is not only logical, not only scientific, since natural immunity is real, and not only pro science, since this farm is actually having their birds engaged in scientific research to try to figure out how to use their robust antibodies in their eggs to fight viruses like COVID 19. And they say, well, now that they've had the H5N1, why not for the avian flu too? But all of that was ruled against. The Court of Appeals said that this is scientific. The stamping out policy is scientific, and that the way that they're moving forward with this is scientific as well. And when it came to the new evidence, they said that that is not really what the judges were looking at here as far as considering an appeal to a judicial review. They're simply looking at whether or not the decision to go ahead and call these birds at the time was basically lawful, reasonable, and at that time, not anything after it. So it is such a small sort of um, section that they could look at. But the real thing here is the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. Why did they spend our tax dollars to drag these farmers through these fights when they could have retested the animals and proven that they are healthy and left the farm alone? Why can't we set that as a precedent? That's not against their policy to do that. They have just stuck to the fact that we tested these 2 dead birds so long ago, and it doesn't matter that the rest of the birds are healthy for hundreds of days. So it is no wonder why millions and millions of birds have been killed since 2020, mass culled, chickens predominantly. But ostriches are different. They're not poultry, and that was another thing that was argued by the farm. And it doesn't spread the same way as it does in chickens. So, in a lot of ways, this is a precedent setting case for can they do this stamping out policy in the same way to other larger animals that are not for food consumption. But again, I have the report for you in the description box below. But right now, I'm going to cut to Katie Pasitny sharing some of her thoughts right after they heard the news.
Our verdict is in for Universal Ostrich Farm from the 3 judges, and it is a unanimous no. They have dismissed our appeal, and we at this moment have no emergency stay order, and we are essentially just sitting open ducks in a field, waiting for the next steps of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. Our lawyer is going to try for another emergency stay order while we try to get a chance at Supreme Court. After making it to the level that we've made it to, and a unanimous no, the likelihood of Supreme Court is very low. We are moving into a weekend that right now we have an open cull order on the ostriches. So, we've asked you guys so many times to be here, and I'm sorry. But if anybody just wants to come and show support, and camp for a few days in the field, and just be here to support us, the family, and these animals that are sitting here with an open cull order on them, we ask you to come. Please come.
Absolutely devastating. And devastating is the word the farm is using in some of the statements they gave me as well for the written article below. The farm is also hit with $7,000 in costs for this case as well. And that's on top of the fines that they've received from the Canadian Food Inspection Agency and the cost to do such a lengthy, costly battle against our government, who's just so hell bent on killing healthy birds. So that information on how to help is in there. But if anybody wants to help our journalistic efforts to get back to Edgewood, BC, and see what's going on there, hear from the farmers firsthand, hear from the people that they're calling to come support this fight, and see what happens. Because, like I said earlier, the emergency stay order that was preventing the CFIA from acting on the cull order is lifted. The farmers say they're considering taking the fight to the next level, but because it was a unanimous decision and not a split decision, that is also very unlikely, but they're going to try to get a stay. So I'm going to go there. It is the one of the last weekends of the summer. I could not find a hotel near them. I could not find a van this time around. I couldn't find a hotel that's far away, motel that's the normal cost that we like to keep it down. Plus, I have to drive there, and who knows how long I will be staying. So, you guys really did come through last time. I really appreciate that. This is a very important precedent setting story. So, if you want to contribute to my journey back to the ostrich farm, please do so at savetheostriches.com. At Rebel News, we don't hold back from reporting on government overreach, and that is what this story is about at its core. If you appreciate the work that Rebel News does and wants to be part of making it possible, please go to savetheostriches.com to help cover my expenses to go there and to find out more about how to help the farm.